police investigating the third murder since they launched their aggressive crime plan.
And we want to find the person that is responsible for that.
Meantime, the Police Staff Association says police officers are tired.
Police officers are not superbeings, they're human beings just like any one of us.
Plus, the CFAL Junior Investor Program kicks off its 12th year.
We're so proud to have the program continue to grow strength to strength.
I'm Nakia DeVoe, and this is NB12 Weekend. Everyone, thanks for joining us this Saturday here at Cable 12 Studios. Here's what's coming out of the newsroom this weekend. Days of relative quiet on New Providence shattered by tragedy as police rushed to the scene of yet another murder last night, the 83rd for the year. Juan McCartney was on scene. Here's his report.
Police say armed attackers chased and shot and killed a young man inside a home here on Palmetto Avenue in the Sunset Park area Friday night. NB12 can confirm that the man who was murdered inside his relative's home is 22-year-old Kevin Saunders of Sunset Park. Police say Saunders was standing outside the house, which is just down a street near the Carmichael Road Police Station, around 9 o'clock. That's the same time that Central Detective Unit Head Superintendent Paul Roll says police received calls that gunshots were discharged in the area. Roll says their information is that 3 men in a champagne-colored Honda, a 99 or 2000 model, rolled through Saunders' corner.
Upon seeing this male, 2 males exited this vehicle and began discharging shots in the direction of the male. The victim ran to the inside, being pursued by 2 of these men, who discharged several more shots, fatally wounding him.
Roll said when EMS arrived, they found Saunders dead inside the house. Police blanketed the area last night, searching for leads.
We do appeal to members of the public who may have information on this latest homicide to provide information to the police so that we can try and resolve this information.
However, Roll did say last night that they are looking for a man by the name of Philario Williams to assist with the murder investigation.
We would like to see him. We believe that he may have some information that will help the police advance this investigation. According to our last source, he resides in the Sunset Park area, and so I appeal to his family. He's going to come home at some point tonight. We've checked his house already. He's not there, and I'm asking him to make sure that he come in and see us, and so that we can speak to him in regards to this latest homicide.
Police confirmed today that they're still looking for Philario Williams. There's been no word on what was behind Saunders' death. Reporting for NB12, I'm Juan McCartney.
Well, according to the president of the Police Staff Association, fatigue is setting in for those officers placed on the 12-hour work shift last month as a part of the government's new crime-fighting strategy. In addition to that, the association says officers should be compensated for the extra hours they work. Paige McCartney has more.
Police officers are not super beings, they're human beings just like any one of us. And just how you may have pain and suffer, they do the same thing. Just how you look for a great reward for what you do, because every man that works looks for a reward at the end of the day.
That's the sentiment of Police Staff Association President Dwight Smith, who said although officers are not complaining, they are growing tired of the aggressive new 12-hour shift system implemented to stem violent crimes.
They are feeling the fatigue now, and as an association, we would not lie to people and say officers not get tired. Anybody knows if you continue to work an excessive amount of hours, your body is going to tell on you.
12 murders were recorded in a 13-day period leading up to government's announcement of the new shift system. However, since the introduction of the new crime plan nearly a month ago, only 3 murders have been reported. But Smith says that has less to do with the 12-hour shifts and more to do with the influx of officers on the front line.
Because we influx, in particular area of police officers, it's the police officers who are actually doing the work. So if you were saying that to me, then the question then should be asked, are we really going to hire more police officers? Because obviously it means then we need a lot of officers. It has nothing to do with a 12-hour shift. Because the same thing that happens in an 8-hour shift can happen within a 12-hour shift.
Added to the fatigue from the extra hours, Smith said officers are not being paid overtime. He said on average, officers are working 20 extra hours more than the 40 hours per week in accordance with labor laws. The PSA president said the group has already sent letters to those in authority at the Ministry of National Security.
The police at this particular time does not receive an overtime. No, we don't receive anything of salary extra for that. We get paid for 40 hours, and that's all we get paid for. Whether compensation will come in, well, we have done that. We're going through the process. We forward letters as relate. We forward 2 letters. One letter in terms of wellness for officers, making sure that there's some sort of a wellness program for those individuals who work in these long-hour shifts. And secondly, in terms of compensation, how do we look at the laws that states that there should be some overtime?
Minister of National Security Dr. Bernard Nottage recently said that this new 12-hour shift system would remain in place as long as it's necessary. For MB12, I'm Paige McCartney.
103 Royal Bahamas Defense Force officers have been deployed to assist the police force since National Security Minister Dr. Bernard Nottage announced the details of a new crime plan. Defense Force Commodore Roderick Bowe says he has received nothing but positive reports since his officers have been deployed.
I think our members are always excited about doing new things. Some things are new, some things are not so new, but I think new environments and interacting with the police, it gives us a wonderful opportunity to show our skills and our talents. Everywhere I go, people are always complimenting us, and the Commissioner is quite pleased that his officers are now able to go out on the streets, and he's expressed his gratitude as well.
The plan is to redeploy up to 150 Defense Force Marines to aid police. Those officers will be mainly assisting police in urban renewal areas and with sedentary duties. That, Bowe says, was done intentionally as Marines and police officers are trained to use different grades of weapons.
The weaponry that we are familiar with that we use of a high caliber sometimes, and to go in certain areas, if you were to engage in a shootout with some persons, you may end up using the wrong caliber that could go through 1 or 2 homes, and innocent people could be affected. So we're allowing the police to do the jobs that the police have been trained to do, and we can do sedentary duties, and so it's a good fit. It's hand in glove.
Bowe says 19% of the Defense Force has been deployed to other duties. The current RBDF complement stands at 1,220 Marines. In other news, Foreign Affairs and Immigration Minister Fred Mitchell says the ministry is moving to have the support of the Bahamian community in the United States as government defends itself against claims of abuse by a group of Cubans who were held at the Carmichael Road Detention Center and Democracy Movement activist group. Groups of Bahamians and Americans in the United States sent out a statement Thursday speaking out against what is called unwarranted attacks by Cuban Americans.
And basically, it outlines what we've been saying all along. The country does not engage in cruel and inhumane punishment. Individuals may involve themselves in wrongdoing or bad behavior. There are processes to deal with that. You cannot, therefore, attack a country because you have some issues with some individuals. And it is that which we thought was the unfairness in this whole matter, and we're happy to see the Bahamian community abroad supports our country.
Government has brought charges against 5 Defense Force officers who will undergo a trial by the Defense Force Tribunal in private chambers.